Oh.
And this actually, people are making fun of this commercial, but this was what would have worked on me. I'll play it now. It's like dramatic vibe, dramatic music. It's saying, "Is this the defender you wanted to be? Is this the person you wanted to be?" And then now it says, "Be
and
a
now
real
it's all
man.
of them together.
Be a real
right?
man. Join."
Wait, is that all of them together at the end? Can you like
yes, I think so.
right back to the end there?
Yeah, yeah.
That is. It's
It
like all
is.
the little.
Yeah.
So let me. Yeah, I mean, if you go back, they show a guy. The first guy they show is a grocery store security guard, and I want you to pause real quick.
Sure.
Right on him.
Yeah.
Right there. Look at him holding that metal baton. First of all, I just want to say, in a grocery store, why do you need a security guard in a grocery store with a metal sweeper, right? You know why? Because this is Russia.
Oh. And they might walk in with armed.
Bro, I'm trying to wonder what their grocery stores are like. Have you ever walked into a grocery store with an armed security guard?
Never been wanted. This is more of an airplane situation.
No, I take it back. There are some grocery stores with armed security guards. But yeah, I think what they're trying to do here is saying like, they're kind of calling this guy a loser.
That's exactly what they're doing.
They're calling this guy a loser. And they're hoping that everybody who identifies with this man in their occupation is feeling what they're showing right now.
In some way insecure enough.
Yeah. But what you had right before they show him like this, it shows him holding like he's in full military. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fully decked out, and then it pans over and you realize no, he's actually like just a security guard. So it's showing him as the hero he wishes he could be, or what he thinks he is.
A couple of things jump out to me, which is, first of all, this is actually very well produced. As much as people are making fun of this, and yeah, it's silly that they're calling out these civilians for just trying to contribute, work a job, feed their family. But if you were to just look at this on its own merits, very well produced, well shot, and the messaging gets across.
100%. Yeah. I mean, but he still just works as a security guard at his grocery store.
This is the hero that he wishes he was.
And then we smash that play. The next guy, has like a decent. He's a personal trainer, right?
Right.
Or is he just a buff dude? No, he's a personal trainer.
He's a personal trainer.
Bro, first of all, he's also juicing hard.
That guy is not natty.
No, that guy's not natty at all. And Rambo would have beaten out of him.
Yeah. And this guy,
taxi driver.
What's wrong with any of that?
You know what it is? The problem is in Russia, they haven't gotten the Western value of, I love my job. And I'm more than just my job.
And that masculinity might have more to do with that you don't have to be in the military necessarily.
To be a big tough boy.
Man.
I mean, guys like me and you, we served because our testosterone was high enough. And we were recognized as elite athletes for the service. That's changed. They don't do that anymore.
Couple alpha guys like us.
Dude, yes. I remember when I was working at Chili's, and I realized really quickly, holy shit, I'm working at Chili's. Before I know it, I'm running the entire restaurant. Everyone's following me. People are literally saying, dude, you're a brick shit house. How do I become like you? Why am I so mesmerized? And that's my GM talking to me. That's my GM. Yeah. I'm just a little server, right? Little hostess.
Yeah.
And that's when it hit me. Holy fuck, my skills are not being fully utilized here. And the only way they will be is if I become a motor T operator in the United States Marine Corps Reserve. Can you do me a favor? Mm-hmm. Can you pull up Marine Corps 1960s Reserve commercial on the YouTube? Dude.
From How to Defend Yourself? It shows a girl pushing
a blonde babe. Also, look at this hunk, man. He's just a hunk, right? Great waistline. Awesome hairline. Was he a corporal? He's a corporal in the reserve, driving that car with a babe like that. Look at him. He's just strutting away.
Looking for a few good men.
Now, today, do you think they would release that video?
No way. No, they couldn't. It is too honest in a way.
It's too honest. It's basically saying, because think of who they're targeting, right? If you're already that guy, are you going to join the military?
No.
You don't need to.
What do you have to gain? Well, that's what they're saying is that you could become that guy.
You could become that guy, right?
I had the realization.
You could become that guy. So they're targeting.
I put it together.
They're targeting the dude who's at Arby's.
Yeah.
And he's 24.
Yeah.
And he's got nothing going for him. And he needs something new because he's starting to realize it's harder for him to get laid each year.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting hard because women now have standards. They're not going to believe him when he talks about how he's going to write a fan fiction about Dungeons and Dragons and become famous.
Some people need that fire under them. They need that discipline.
I agree. And Russia recognizes theirs is aggressive.
Yeah, they're calling people out. They're like, you do it, you won't. Do it, you won't is probably that is what would actually.
How do you say that?
Do it, you won't.
No, but say it the way you did.
Do it, you won't. Okay, that's the aggressive. I guess me being.
No,
aggressive.
it's the way you said it was like. It's like do it, you won't.
Do
it's
it.
like you had a British accent for a minute.
No,
Man.
just.
No, but I
it,
hear you
won't.
saying, yeah.
They look right at the camera as if to say, "Do it, you won't."
No, they look at the and they look at the camera because because somewhere in Russia, there's a young man watching this, and this guy right here with this locked stare, see him?
Yep.
There's a young man watching this right now. He's had a little bit too much vodka. He's eating pickles.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they love to do. Trust me, I dated a Russian person for a little bit, and right now he's going, "Don't you feel it, Blaza, comrade?"
Yeah.
And the other guy watching is like, "I feel it," and he's setting down his vodka and his pickles. And he's only in his underwear, and he's got no body fat because they keep in shape over there. And he like stands up, and he realizes his calling is to join Putin's army. What do they get for joining Putin's army? What are the benefits of the Russian military, actually?
Let me look that up.
Because you kind of made me think about it. In the American military, we were honest for a while of saying, like, hey, if you join, you spend 4 years kind of like being treated like you get free college, right? What do you get in the Russian military?
Think of all the benefits that they bumped up during the war on terror.
Yeah,
like what were some of the things that they gave
post
to
9/11 GI Bill was dramatically higher than the original.
To someone who doesn't know what that is, like what are some of these benefits?
Yeah, because the original GI Bill was you'd pay into it throughout your service, not a lot, but a portion would come out of your paycheck. So it was completely self-funded, not funded by the taxpayer. And it would just cover your tuition at most state colleges. Private schools, it would cover a portion. But then they bumped up to the post 9/11 GI Bill, which meant it would cover 100% of your tuition anywhere. And you got a stipend.
Yeah.
But it became taxpayer funded, which also opened
it up to
And they did all
of this to incentivize, because they needed more bodies.
You need bodies,
They dropped the, what do you call it? The like... standards were dropped, so you could have tattoos, you could have crimes on your record, and they would still take you. Yeah, the Marines have always had the highest.
I was in the Marines.
That's right. The hardest to join the Marines.
Also, the Marines have the least amount of like benefits offered. Which, if I could go back in time, the Air National Guard, the National Guard, as well as like the Army had some of the best sign-on bonuses and incentives.
They were, when I was joining, if I had signed a 4-year contract, I was stupid and didn't. They were offering $20,000 bonuses for a 4-year contract.
And you would get that over the 4 years, right? It would be like kind of a waterfall.
So that's the thing that people forget is that you see the $20,000, you're like, oh, that's awesome, but $20,000 over 4 years.
And it's taxed.
Right.
As a bonus, I believe.
It is.
Which is higher.
Yes.
Yeah. But you still get it, which is nice compared to just the Marine Corps recruiting, which I fell for, which is, man, we were both. So I fell for the same type of recruiting that you saying that would have worked on you. The Russian video of the guy being like, you're a loser. Do you want to be a loser?
Yeah.
I joined the Marines because they were like, oh, we're the hardest. And I'm like, yeah, brother. Also, I came from a privileged home. My dad was a judge. My mom was a teacher. They both had education. So I wasn't as driven by money because I was an idiot. Whereas, like, if I could go back in time, I definitely would have taken advantage of the benefits offered by...
I also didn't really take advantage of the benefits. I decided to sign a 3-year contract instead of a 4 because I was so afraid that I was going to hate the military that I didn't want to get stuck in a 4-year commitment.
The 3-year, yeah.
And when you're 19, the difference between 3 and 4 years...
Massive.
But, so, I only did the 3 years, didn't get any bonus for joining, like an idiot. And...
You loved it.
Oh, yeah, I ended up loving it, yeah.
Yeah, you loved it.
I signed on for another 3 after the 4.
You even made a little career out of it.
3, sorry. Yeah, now it's my whole
You're
identity.
You're a professional veteran.
That's right.
Right? Isn't that sick?
It's so sick.
It's so sick.
That's the only thing.
And the odd part is, the older I get, the more comfortable I am with like all the things I used to hate. Like, I love stealing valor now. I support those who do it well.
Oh yeah.
I think the Marine Corps is a bunch of silly bills. I think that what Russia's doing is twofold. I think it's smart, but I also think it's an act of desperation.
Well, you asked what are some of the benefits. What do you get if you?
Oh,
So
yeah.
let's say you and I we wanted to join the Russian military. This is what we would get. They're offering signing bonuses that are 4 times as big as monthly salaries to recruit soldiers amid their manpower crunch. So we're talking about
They're doing the same thing we did,
170,000 rubles,
which is like additional 3K,
3,000 USD.
which is 4 times the average salary in the region. Wow,
Yeah.
that's huge. So
It
then,
is, about
some of them will get 70% of the Russian military is made up of Really, 70% of their military is conscripts?
No, contract. So 30% are conscripts. 70% are contract, meaning
Got it, full-time soldiers.
Yeah.
Okay. I read that backwards.
They typically earn 1,100 a month, which is
That's about what we were making, right?
They're just similar to what U.S.
About the same.
soldiers. But I mean, I don't know how that all breaks down. That might be an average for.
You know what's nuts is I was about to
everyone.
say, like, look at how much money they're pumping into a tiny region, but when you think about Iraq, we pumped so much cash into nothing. Like, so much cash, right? Bonuses, pay, weapon systems, training, etc. Into what?
Well,
Right.
I've been looking more and more recently at like what was that all about, and it does seem like maybe it did have to do with the global stability of the energy market. Like they wanted to make sure, because at the time, the U.S. was very reliant on oil imports from that region. 23% of all the oil that we got was from that region. So it was seeming a little bit like, hey, we can't have this instability over there, can't allow that. And then it just so happened that during that same time period, the U.S., that whole explosion of the shale oil here, do you know how like we started fracking? And then basically we didn't need any of that oil anymore at all. Definitely what he's.
But I think to your point of like, I mean, we had obviously our reasons for being there. But for me, I'm like seeing, again, my gut reaction is like, why does Russia want to pump all this money into such a tiny piece of land?
Mm-hmm.
We did it at such a higher level.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we got our money. Wait, real quick, one pause. Yeah, so I think like, but I do think Russia's making a different play. But at the same time, Russian propaganda has been, I think, hand in hand with American propaganda for recruitment and military. Like getting people to actually become interested in joining the military. Because when you think about the recruiting videos we were exposed to that were produced in the 80s, played through the 90s, the Marine Corps slaying a dragon.
Yeah.
Lava monster.
Yeah.
And it has this song, and he does this whole catchy thing. I mean, Russia was copying that with their music videos around their airborne troopers, doing cool 80s hip-hop. Boom, 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 boom. So I kind of feel like, in a way, we're hand-in-hand with each other. The difference is we don't make videos about Russia. Our U.S. government doesn't make videos for PBS about life in Russia, portraying it as this evil judge, and say, okay, if we do the reverse Uno on this, saying that that's Russian culture, I don't think Russia realizes how they're portraying themselves. But I don't think they care.
No, they see themselves as the good guys here, yeah.
Yeah, they're fighting against our woke mob. But my question is, do you think it's working? Do you think that this propaganda they've been pushing out is working in Russia?
I think what they're trying to say is that we think we're free, but we're not. That we like to claim. They're pointing out a point of hypocrisy about the West, that we claim that we're free and that we have freedom of speech, but really, when you drive down to it, if we want to say that we hate somebody, we don't have the right to hate people. Which, I mean, if that's a right that I have to give up, maybe not the worst.
But right? I feel like Americans know that. We know we're not fully free.
Yeah, because we all claim that we're equal. We're all equal, but some people are more equal than others, is what they're saying. So I spoke to a Russian or a Serbian guy who fought on the Russian side. And
Did you find him in Bay Ridge?
No. I mean,
it's too inside baseball.
That's where he would be, right?
Yeah.
But we were talking on Zoom, and he was. I thought he was joking at first, but he was like, I hope you guys don't have a civil war soon. So I heard about the civil war coming, and I was like, ha ha ha. And I realized, like, wait, no, he thinks that we're on the verge.
Oh, he believes it.
Yes.
Where does he live? Oh, he lives
He's
overseas.
now in Russia.
He actually believes that we'll have a civil war.
Because I think if you are plugged into the Russian propaganda, you think that America is on the verge of a civil war, just like we probably think that Putin's going to be overthrown tomorrow, and he might be.
What
but
we would say to a Russian, they'd be like, "What are you talking about?"
Yes, absolutely. Like I think I sometimes often think, "Oh man, Putin's going to be overthrown tomorrow," and maybe he will be. But I think if you were to say that in Russia, it would be just as absurd sounding if someone said there's going to be a civil war in America tomorrow, right? Like, what are you gonna do about that? I hope it doesn't happen. That's the most ridiculous thing.
And you're like, what civil war?
Like,
yeah. You know what? That kind of connects to what we were talking about earlier. The way that we find peace between each other is through one. We need. This is gonna sound weird because we already have social media connected, but not really. Like the Russians are on VK, we have Facebook. They don't engage in Instagram the same way. I'm curious if they have TikTok at the same level, but it's probably filtered to their algorithm, same as ours is, like echo chambered.
5 out of 10.
Wait, can you pull up military TikTok?
Mm-hmm.
And let's give some quick ratings out of 10.
Yeah.
Does that sound cool to you?
I do. I
like judging other people's work. Click that one first.
We're just going to go with first.
When you don't see your sergeant standing behind you. I'm giving this a 4 out of 10. Wait, go back. Why'd you do that? There we go.
Same one.
No, go back. That's the one we were watching right there.
You want to see more of it?
I'm just saying. Let me give my 4 out of 10 now.
You give it 4 out of 10?
4 out of 10. I think it's fully scripted.
Yeah.
I think it's scripted, right? Like, there's no way that's not scripted.
We get it. He's in a dress. He's a guy. He's in a dress.
And his sergeant's right there, and he just knows sergeant. Bullshit. Yeah, next video. 4 out of 10. Yeah. Lame. I'm gonna, because of that one guy though who said he can't even talk about it, I'm gonna give them an 8 out of 10. The rest of them I don't care about, but that one guy made the whole video. Oh, this guy's been around.
I like him. He's funny. This is a genuine, heartfelt.
This is just her being sweet.
Yes.
Okay, never mind. I was waiting for the dark turn of like the divorce and him cheating on her with. Oh wait, this might be funny.
Ceasefire, ceasefire. Safeties at this time. Ensure all weapons are cleared. Not qualified.
That could have been better, but this is funny. It could have been her like sweeping. I wish. I'm gonna give this an 8.7 out of 10 because if I could go back in time and we had the same filming capabilities, I would have loved making this video.
Yeah, they did. It's sad that they didn't really.
I would love to see my 19-year-old self coming out of the gas chamber like that. Dude, wait, did you freeze it right on his snot?
I did.
I love it.
It's
Is
beautiful.
it splash out?
Yeah, they made me go through 3 times because I didn't have my canteen buckled, and they were like, "Secure your Pluto." So they kept making me go through until I figured it out. Yeah, because I didn't have it buckled.
Wait, so that whole time you're just coughing up CX gas?
Yeah, and they were like,
"So okay,
secure your."
You lift the mask off your face, put it back on, press and clear.
Yeah.
Okay, so I f***ed up. I took it off. I put it back on. When I hit the press to clear button, I didn't push in hard enough. And when I blew out and I realized it wasn't clearing, that made me panic. So I just inhaled deeply, which is all the CX gas in my mask.
Oh.
And I just had to eat it.
Oh.
I just had to eat it.
So you took a deep breath?
Deep breath of it. And I had to eat it. Do you remember the lies they told us too, where they were like, "Oh, the CX instructors are immune to it"?
That is.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know
the first
exactly.
time he's got all that whiskey in his breath.
Right, it's a little sharp.
Sharp.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also got the beard that stabs. The problem is with these videos, you can't do it when everyone's next to each other because they're all going to steal each other's answers. Whoever answers first, the rest are going to be like, "Yeah, I'll go with that theme." The one guy we saw who was just running around the... See, this is the kind of stuff that would end wars, honestly.
It would.
And then we can finally have a global military.
What do you give this?
I'm going to give it 6.9 out of 10 for peacekeeping potential.
I'm giving like an 8.
And I want
4 hours. And
Yeah,
just,
exactly.
Yeah.
One thing I love about the military is when you have a weak leader, you do people mutiny pretty quick, and they don't care what your rank is. They'll rip you apart real fast verbally. Like, people were like, this is insane. Are you that scared? But the difference is, if he was a psychotic leader that people were afraid of, he could say the exact same stuff, and people were like, aye, Sergeant. Yes, Sergeant. And they would do it for him.
It's really like a good case for dictators.
In the military, if you have a dictator's personality, you'll do really well.
Yeah, I would rather have a dictator in the military
Than a weak little baby.
Yeah.
Weak little baby boy.
Yeah.
Little sweet cheek.
It reminds me of all the times when I was on guard duty in the military, and it's just two dudes, and you're in one bunker, and you're killing. You got 8 hours to kill. You ever have to do a guard shift?
Actually, those were some of the most beautiful moments in our lives. I used to run a fake radio show, B105.5, Sunny Side of the Desert, on the comms with the 4 other dudes who were on duty in different areas.
Would you send it?
Yeah, only internal. Only not
what
internal,
level
but
are we talking? Is this platoon level?
Platoon.
Brigade
100%
level?
no.
Have you ever
Platoon.
pushed to brigade?
One of our guys did. So you know how there's the
You should explain.
This is a true story. So you know how there's the one guy who doesn't always fit in, but they desperately want to fit in. They're trying their hardest to fit in. And
I'm that guy.
You're not mature enough at that age to respect what they're going through. So instead, you just kind of feed the fire of their awkwardness, so it's funny for you.
Yeah.
There's this kid Fife, and he liked our radio show bit. He knew we did it. We never included him in on it because to us it was funny how badly he wanted to be a part of it. I think that's any young man's game. If he just didn't care, we would have absolutely included him in. But the fact that he really desperately wanted to be part of it, nah, dude. Now you made it too cool for us to let you in. During the day, he thought he would do the radio show because we always did it at night on platoon tack only. He did it on battalion tack. And what was great is he tried to be like us because we would always do these sarcastic bits about how deployment is and blah, blah, blah. So he just does this little thing where over the battalion level tack, he says something about how this is bullshit that we're here. Does anyone else, do any callers have any thoughts on this? Whatever.
Oh my God.
And the first person to come in was our CO, who called him out by name. There was none of the Echo 3, blah, blah, blah. It was just
no call signs.
Yeah, it was
straight to your legal name.
It was a fear one. It was sounds like you have a lot of opinions on our tactics and our deployment, so why don't you make your way over to my vehicle? And we can discuss. And watching him have to take that walk for us, not our problem. So funny comedy. But yeah, Fife tried way too hard.
I had a favorite person that I would want to be on guard duty with when we were in a bunker. Let's say there was always 2 bros in one bunker. And I would always try to get picked with Colin because I felt we got along well. And then there was always that one guy that you did not want to be in a bunker with.
Pickering.
You did not. So you know already.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's usually that guy. He might be great with someone else in that bunker, but no thanks. 8 hours with that dude, no thanks.
Yeah.
I think one of my friends got 50% disability rating from the trauma of the PTSD trauma of the shifts.
Also, stuff that I can't put on the record, but the way that you could bully that person was pretty brutal.
Yeah, because they have no out. They cannot escape.
No.
So you have a certain level of control.
You do, and so you can teach them boundaries. Which is all young malehood. Right?
One time, I shouldn't say this, but one time it was 2 bros in one bunker, and we had remember those pen flares that you
the teenies
shoot off?
Yeah.
As a warning, hey, next round, next is gonna be a real shot. This is a pen flare. So I didn't know what a pen flare was. It was my first day in the guard tower with the 2 bros, and I was looking at the thing, and I pulled it back. It's got that release, and I looked at it. And then for whatever reason, I pointed it away and fired it off, the pen flare, inside of the guard tower. And you know how it is. It's basically a 9mm going off. And luckily it just went and embedded itself into an inch of wood.
Did anyone know that you did it?
Fortunately, my squad leader, I think, found out, and he just had a conversation. He's like, what the fuck? What are you doing? And I said I didn't know what that thing was, and they just buried it. Bro, you're in a PetSmart.
Can you click that?
Walking a pair of corgis.
To be honest, I see like this sometimes in Jersey, and I want to be honest and be like, sir, you're at a Crunch Fitness. Like, calm down.
How would you rate the bedroom of the Air Force?
Is that
guy?
his real
That's
bedroom?
his legit bedroom. That is his actual bedroom.
Dude,
Let's drink this in. There's a sniper net covering the window so that he doesn't get sniped while he sleeps. Full camo walls and a bed. My favorite part is a bed on the ground.
I'm just hearing his voice right now, like he brings a woman, and he would away talks like this. I'm wondering, dude. Remember I was telling you about Fife, the weird guy in my unit?
Yeah.
Do we create these guys? Like, do we bully these like hardcore when we're surveying together? And you know this guy's like a nerd, right? Like when you're surfing with this guy, you know that he's a tryhard. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
And we bully those guys. We mock those guys. Do we push them into these dark corners?
We had a guy that I won't say his name, but he was in our platoon, and his sergeant, his squad leader, and one of his buddies in his squad, he's this type of guy that you're talking about. They made him do the impossible sit-up. Have you heard of the impossible sit-up?
No.
The impossible sit-up is when you take the sit-up position and then somebody's got your feet held down, sturdy, and then another person puts their hands over your head and holds you down. And then another person pulls down their pants.
Wait, okay, I've seen it.
Okay, so now you know what I'm talking about.
We never did that in our units.
This was done to him. He
he
was held down and then they let go.
Face right in.
Yes.
And I have a feeling that the butthole he went into had a little bit of mud pie in the crack.
Got a mouthful of mud pie. And if you're telling me that doesn't turn somebody into this, I'm sorry, it does.
It does. Yeah, that's where I'm like, we created these monsters, to be honest, because we were 19. We didn't have the tools to handle someone like that. We didn't know. And then the people who should have had the tools, our leaders, were only 25.
It was his leader who did it to him. It was his squad leader. It was his squad leader. His squad leader's ass, not the guy who's holding his face. It was his squad leader's ass. So we are the bad guys.
We create these little monsters.
Yes.
We need like better guidance counselors in the military.
Also, why does he have a picture of?
Wait, is one of those a motivational?
It's in Iraq. That's like he's acting like he was in Iraq in a striker unit.
Bro, this guy, man.
What's that about? Or maybe it's his brother. That's stolen valor.
Bro, the whole sniper mesh thing is just too weird. And the weird like European camouflage.
It's not even American camouflage.
It's not even American. Why did he do that? Did
like
he paint that himself, you think? Or is that's got to be like a wallpaper print?
It has to be wallpaper. That'd be impossible to paint on.
Do you think it was cheaper because it was European knockoff and not American?
He probably Amazoned camouflage wall print, and this is what came back.
Enough of this boy's room. I can't. He's going to jail, right?
He's looking at, I think, maybe 12 years or more.
Really? He really went too far. Oh,
there are so many of these that have been since TikTok became a big thing. There's all these very cringy, patriotic videos. The type of thing that I think I would have done.
I was just gonna say I'm so glad we didn't have the ability to record because I would have done this too, like 100%. Thanks, man. To everyone watching, I just want to give a shout out to Chris Capolito from Task Purpose. I want to thank my dad for never being kind to me as a kid and giving me a huge complex to push me to join the Marine Corps. I want to thank the Marine Corps for teaching me how to be funny by hurting people's feelings. And I want to thank, God. All right, everybody. Stay blessed.